So around about 11 years ago, I was a youth minister for the last, well, maybe not for the last time, but the last time. And I was working with kids in the Mojave Desert in San Bernardino High Desert, near Victorville. And they were kids who had to do community service for their juvenile probation contracts. And I did this little roadside cleanup where we adopted a street, and I took a letter to community service to juvenile probation for the probation officers to give to the parents of the kids who need community service still. And so we'd pick up trash for like 5 hours every Saturday. It was a bit too long. It should maybe have been 3 hours, with like a snack break or lunch break. We'd go to get like Del Taco and things like that. And I'd talk with the boys. I bought a Suburban while I was doing this so I could drive them all around in seatbelts. So I started with a Toyota Corolla. So I had just this truckload of usually around about 15, 16-year-old kids, boys. And the thing we would talk about always was like what happened when they got arrested. Every day something would come up like when they got arrested, and someone would say like, "Oh, the cops tackled me," or this or that, and I'd always take the conversation back around to the thing that I didn't want them to have another time they needed to implement it, but we talk about, hey, if the cops show up, if whatever, if you're arguing with someone and they think it's a fight, if you're the one who always gets in trouble for the fight, it just means that you're the one who looks bigger and stronger or something, or like you get a little more mad and you have a little more body lean into it. They're probably going to aim at you for tackling you or whatever to break up the fight. And so just don't fight back. Just like stop. Like if you see them, just stop already. Um, because that's how injuries happen. And, all these shooting videos you see where people just like, I don't know how it's not self preservation instinct for people to just give up because they know adults, I mean, juveniles, they know, yeah, okay, I don't need to get my butt kicked. Like that stuff made sense to these boys, right? So adults, though, I mean, people are just out of their minds. I don't, I don't think they have to necessarily be diagnosed as crazy. People are just kind of like losing a layer of common sense. Not common sense, self-preservation. Like people don't have a proper connection with just, I don't know, self-preservation, something like that. The value of their own life. Too many mental diseases out there from drugs too. I think is probably the biggest cultural answer, and then just a lot of different non-answers from culture about things that, I mean, traditional church answers have always said, it's not riches that'll make you happy. It's living right and being connected with God. Um, and the entertainment we watch says all these other things that, I mean, you should work. You should try to get a better job always. You should better yourself professionally one way or another, but have a job, and be contented with what you do have and make a budget. But, you know, not everybody's going to drive a Bugatti. Not everybody's going to drive, a Rolls Royce. We're not even all going to drive a Mercedes. I mean, Mercedes are within most people's range of being able to save and purchase, right? Probably gonna drive a Toyota Corolla. Like it's a good fuel efficient vehicle. It gets you can do your own repairs part of the time. Whatever. You gotta be alright with things like that. Not just freak out because you don't get everything you see on the internet or in a TV show. I don't think that's the total answer, but I think that's part of what alcohol and drugs comes from is a first initial dissatisfaction with simple things. People need to slow down. But yeah, these shooting videos, they're crazy. I mean, it's so sad and tragic. Even though the guy getting shot, like 95%, only once in a while do I ever think, oh, this is a guy who didn't, like, the situation didn't quite warrant it. Police are basically trained to do plus one, where they use just more force than you're using towards them if you don't ever use force towards the police, right? but they're going to use just a little bit more towards you. And if you escalate it up to great bodily harm, they're going to use lethal force, and that's it. So I'm kind of preaching this little set of musings to the choir. I'm sure. I don't think any more than like maybe 5 people ever watch my videos, but there's just too much of this in the news. Country needs some basic Christianity, some basic Jesus spirituality. Like, you shouldn't get so far into something where this is what's happening. That's my point of view.